Why is Trump targeting Greenland and the Panama Canal? Discover the geopolitical stakes, economic strategies, and the global tension surrounding these critical territories in this deep dive into international power plays. Trump has recently taken up habitat in the White House for the second time. This time, though, he didn't even have to get near the seat of power to start tongues wagging about his controversial decisions. One of his more infamous statements has concerned Greenland, the Panama Canal, and Trump's intention to acquire them both. The somewhat winding speech shocked people around the world, breaking with decades of US foreign policy aimed at respecting the sovereignty of other democratic countries. So let's take a look at why Trump wants to acquire the two territories, and what his claim to them is based on, if anything. Starting with Panama, the simpler of the two territories to explain. The Panama Canal is one of the two great international shipping canals of the world, the other being the Suez in Egypt. It is used by hundreds of ships every week to travel through Central America from the Atlantic Ocean and the Caribbean to the Pacific. National control of it used to give the US a huge advantage in global politics. It is an economic boon, bringing significant income, too. However, in the post-Cold War era, such imperialist policies began to seem outdated, and the US gave the canal back to its home nation of Panama in 1999. Now, with Trump at the helm of the US for the second time, imperialism seems to be the name of the game, and he has threatened to take the Panama Canal, claiming that US ships are being charged exorbitant rates by the Panamanians and that the canal was falling into the wrong hands, based on unfounded claims that China was gaining more power over the canal. Asked if he would rule out using military or economic force to take the Panama Canal, or Greenland as we will discuss shortly, Trump responded, "No, I can't assure you on either of those two." Panamanian President José Raúl Molina responded, denying that the US was being unfairly charged and asserting that only Panama was in full control of the canal. Following on from this, he confirmed that the canal was part of the country's inalienable patrimony and that it would never be handed over to another state. The Panama Canal has been a major source of political and economic power since its construction by the USA at the start of the 20th century. It provides a large and often essential shortcut for ships traversing between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, cutting a risky, weeks-long journey around Cape Horn down to just a matter of hours and opening up easy sea trade between Eastern Asia and Europe and US East Coast, as well as allowing for quick journeys between the east and west seaboards of the Americas. The Panama Canal is a crucial maritime chokepoint that connects the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, facilitating international trade and military logistics. Completed in 1914 and historically controlled by the United States until 1999, it remains a key element of global commerce, with approximately 6% of the world's trade passing through it annually. Control of the canal offers a strategic advantage in terms of trade routes, economic power, and military mobility, making it a valuable geopolitical asset. Trump's "America First" doctrine emphasizes enhancing US dominance in critical global arenas, including trade and infrastructure. This philosophy often translates into challenging foreign influence in regions critical to American interests. One likely motivation could be countering China's growing influence in Latin America and its presence in the Panama Canal. In recent years, Chinese companies have made significant investments in Panama, including acquiring stakes in port facilities near the canal. These moves have heightened US concerns about China's economic and strategic reach. Trump frequently criticized China's global ambitions, particularly its Belt and Road Initiative, which seeks to expand China's influence through infrastructure projects. As such, any hypothetical interest in the canal could align with efforts to curb Beijing's influence in the Western Hemisphere. But, what do you think? Could the US be motivated by China's growing presence in the Panama Canal? What's your take on this geopolitical move? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Additionally, Trump's focus on trade and infrastructure as critical elements of economic strength might feed into a narrative of reasserting US interests in the canal. The canal plays a pivotal role in reducing shipping costs and time for American businesses, benefiting industries reliant on global trade. If there were concerns about foreign influence or inefficiencies impacting US economic interests, Trump or any US leader could advocate for actions to protect those interests, though outright control of the canal would face international resistance and legal challenges. It is likely that Trump's claim to the canal is based on the fact that the US completed and controlled it for 85 years until 1999, when it transferred control to Panama under the pre-drafted 1977 Panama Canal Treaty while ensuring the canal's neutrality. Unfortunately for Trump, the US transferred all of its interests in and rights to the canal to Panama in perpetuity in an international agreement which the US government would struggle to exit even with the agreement of its full government. International agencies would be likely to pressure the US if it was to attempt to make a move on the canal, possibly including the Chinese armed forces due to their stake in many port facilities in the area. Many have said of President Trump that he does not consider such things when excitedly laying out his plans, though, simplifying world politics to things that his government and the US want and need, and things they do not. This has been variously considered as a strength and a weakness, but it certainly makes for a lot of surprises for nations from the tropics to the Arctic Circle. Speaking of the Arctic Circle, it's time to move north to Trump's other recent claim on Greenland. This is just the latest in a series of overtures Trump has made to the large island in the last 8 years, beginning with his offer to buy the island in his first presidency. This was met with ridicule and rejection by Denmark, the island's holding nation, and the autonomous government of Greenlandic Inuits. His more recent, more assertive claim on the island has set more alarm bells ringing while being uncertainly rejected again by Denmark and Greenland. But why has Trump made this claim once again? Greenland is the world's largest island, rich in untapped natural resources such as rare earth minerals, oil, gas, and freshwater. These resources are becoming increasingly accessible due to climate change and melting ice caps. Rare earth minerals, in particular, are critical for advanced technologies, including electronics, renewable energy systems, and military equipment. Trump's interest in Greenland can be linked to these economic opportunities and the US's desire to secure resource independence, especially in the face of competition from China, a major player in rare earth mining. From a geopolitical perspective, Greenland occupies a critical position in the Arctic region, which is becoming a hotspot for international competition due to its strategic shipping routes and resources. As Arctic ice melts, new shipping lanes are emerging, potentially cutting significant time and costs for global trade. Additionally, Greenland offers a strategic military advantage because of its proximity to North America and Europe. The US already maintains a military presence in Greenland through the Thule Air Base, a critical facility for missile defense and early warning systems. By owning Greenland, the US could expand its strategic foothold in the Arctic, countering Russian and Chinese ambitions in the region. It is worth noting that the autonomous Greenland government has stated that Greenland is not going to go to the US, as has Denmark. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen told Danish TV that Greenland belongs to the Greenlanders, and that only the local population could determine its future. She said, Greenland is not for sale, but stressed Denmark needed close cooperation with the US, a NATO ally. In response, Trump stated that he wanted to make Greenland great again, accusing Denmark of blocking its self-governing territory from developing the great natural resources that they have, whether that's coal, whether that's uranium, whether that's other rare minerals, whether that's gold or diamonds. Meanwhile, the European Union has said it will stand by the island as part of its alliance. When all is said and done, it seems unlikely that the US will be able to get its hands on this tract of land without some substantial changes in the balance of power and its own military calculus. Donald Trump wants the US to control the Panama Canal as a tool of competitive and objective control over global trade, as well as a military tool. Meanwhile, he wishes to assert dominance over Greenland in order to access the incredible natural resource wealth being revealed by its melting ice sheet. It is somewhat ironic that he denies the occurrence of the climate change that is causing this to happen in the first place, yet is preparing for it to accelerate further. Over the first 4 years of his presidency, Donald Trump became notorious for his simple black and white view of the world. This world, defined by his America First doctrine, consists of things that he and the US want to control, and things that he does not. In the context of this doctrine, Trump has become well known for being blunt in saying what he aims or wishes to acquire, as well as for ignoring the sovereignty of any nation standing in his way. While President Trump's econopolitical reasons for acquiring Greenland and the Panama Canal are possibly sound, his claims to them are tenuous. Overall, it looks unlikely that his desire to acquire the resources will be realized without some serious military, political and economic changes. At the time of writing in January 2025, we await his next move with mixed emotions. What do you think Trump will do? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more on geography and politics. Thanks for watching.